WN95HL Weekly with your host, Ultra Magnus. Hello, ladies and gents. This is WNHL 95 Weekly with your host, Ultra Magnus, and back from vacation with a little bit of a sunburn and a little bit of a hangover. But that's neither here or there. I think you guys more want the details of what's going on in this week in the world of WNHL 95. Also, what's in store for the time to come, and some new segments that I'm gonna roll out this week. I think each week's gonna have different segments. It's not gonna be a new segment. It's just gonna be a different segment because I'm not gonna go back to an old one until next season. So let's just leave it at that. This week we're gonna have a few new things. We're gonna have some music playing in the background. I have no clue because it's all on random, but we'll find out then. So we have a few segments this week. It's called What If segment. So I'm gonna provide 5 different segments or 5 different what if scenarios. And I'm gonna give you my feedback on what it is. And you guys can put your own comments down in the field there. Punch that subscribe button. Help us out for WNHL 95 Weekly. It helps with the community and everything, and get you some knowledge on what we're actually doing here with a custom retro video game with a bunch of 40-year-olds and some youngins. All right, so and the other one is who is better. So I'm going to give you 5 different coaches against 5 different coaches, and give your honest opinion of who's actually better. Some of them are going to be pretty obvious, and then some of them are going to be like who's actually better. The next one's going to be some expectations for season 5. So like what we're going to expect, what the timelines are going to be, kind of what we're going to do for like mid-season trades, how are we going to handle the draft, all those other details. Maybe some team projections, but that might be a little bit lengthy. What are some new features are we going to see in the ROM? I'm bringing some new features into the ROM that's going to help spice it up a little bit. It's not going to change the gameplay too much. It's more of like the presentation of the game is going to feel different. And some other ideas I have floating around, and we'll go from there. But let's start the segment off with what if. I think this, I'm not even sure which, Nikki Glider, hot girl in the city. I think I should change it to random here. Yeah, there we go. So we have some music playing in the background. So what if WNHL 95 had a different look? What if WNHL 95 had a different layout of the season, more games, whatever you think. But my point is, what if King Raph had not won season 1? If King Raph had not won season 1 with the Anaheim Ducks, where would we be sitting right now? Would King Raph would have stuck around for season 2? Possibly even season 3? If he had lost season 1? I think he would have, because it was something new. Like, I'm not saying we're a novelty, but we're a reoccurring novelty, kind of like latex panties or edible condoms, or I don't know, like eating fudge off of your girlfriend's body, or whatever the girl is doing to the boy. I don't really care. But basically, if King Raph would have lost, our title winner would have been Mike Vicky BC. Or we could have hypothetically said, imagine if G-Lock had basically knocked off King Raph in the first round, where would we be talking? G-Lock would have probably been on a high, probably would have played the Wolf in the second round, probably would have lost because he hadn't had that many exhibitions against the Wolf at the time. So I have no clue. But if King Raph had lost season 1, if he had not won the championship, who would have been the champion? Would it have been Mike Vick? Would things have been differently because the standings would have been rearranged? Those 2 games might have altered some of the series matchups. Who actually knows? I don't. That's why it's called What If. The second one is, what if Segathon had beaten Sean Bell in season 2 in the semifinals? Would we be talking about Manhatrix, or at the time the Minnesota Mullets, being potential or the Bruley Cup champs of season 2? because he would have ended up playing. Who did he play in the finals? The conference finals. I think it was LHX. LHX would have probably may have knocked off the Minhatrix or the Smullets at the time, and LHX would have been playing Ticklepuss in the finals. What do you put at that? Ticklepuss, LHX might we be talking as the two-time champ at this point. Some Dropkick Murphys, Red Rose. Not really sure what this. It would have been a whole bit different scenario, in my honest opinion. I think if Sean Bell had not beat Segathon in the semifinals in the Game 7 series, we'd be talking about Minhatrix winning the Bruley Cup. No offense, LHX. I just think that Minhatrix have some kind of weird, strange brew against LHX and Ticklepuss. Definitely Ticklepuss. And I don't think Ticklepuss has hit his stride when he was in Season 2. He got onto a torrid run at the end of the season and then also hit the playoff gears where no other team was really hitting it. But then he hit the Mulcher and Sean Bell. But I think the Minhatrix would have won Season 2's Bruley Cup. That's my honest opinion. Put your comments down below and let me know. Or blast me on Discord. I don't fucking care. It's my channel, my podcast. I don't give a shit at this time of day. Especially whatever. What the fuck time is it in the morning? 7:41. I've been up since 5:30. So suck it. The next one. This might be a sensitive topic. It might not. But what if Dink, Mike Vick ABC, Puppet Masters, and Jay Pizzle had not gone MIA? Had not gotten mental meltdowns, had not had a fucking kidney or an appendix blowing up during the Super Bowl, or somebody who just says, I couldn't clean my computer. Who fucking knows? We might be talking about a league of almost 40 guys at this point. We would have definitely had split the league into two different leagues. Some of the newer coaches would have had their own league on their own because we would have not been able to handle over 34 teams. So I think that what if that would have happened, I don't think the league would have been able to sustain one ROM. It would have had to gone to two ROMs. But similar, everything would have been the same. The teams on the ROMs would have just been different. And then I would have had to make a full-on playoff ROM instead of just changing the overtime length. But what if? What if they had still been around? Imagine if Mike Dink had not blown up about whatever he had blown up about other than his appendix and losing money on the Super Bowl. What if Mike Vick actually had a common brain in his head, not to fucking go completely AWOL on everybody? Granted, he had some legitimate points, but it's the fact that he didn't listen to what everybody was saying. He didn't listen to what I had asked them to do. Puppet Masters, you came in and said, hey, I want to play in the league, but my computer won't work. Well, don't commit to the league. We're definitely gonna have a fucking vetting process moving forward. All new teams are required to play 3 teams in our league. They'll be randomized, but I think if you can play Nipples, you can play Wolf, and you can play Derek Sutton. I think those, and G-Lock, 4 teams. If you can play those 4 teams, you can play in the league, because those are the 4 most active players in the league. I think you should be able to be vetted by them. The next one, what if Halifax had beaten Autobahn in the Shitty Bill conference finals last year? Would we be talking about Halifax playing in the Shitty Bill? And imagine if I had beaten Gaelic Gopher. I think I would have beat Clinton. I would have beat Blair with my patented slap shot. The Segathoners hate slap shots, but they love their down B. So I'll fucking down C them all the way to death. And it would have been me and Halifax in the Shitty Bill. What would have happened there? Me and Halifax have always had great matchups. We're both Canadian, which would have made it even that much more pleasant. Instead of having 2 Segathoners, we would have had 2 Canadians. Either way, that's my viewpoint on it, but that's my fucking 2 cents. That's what I think. What would have happened? I wouldn't have had to fucking trade Nicholas Lindstrom. I would have still had Lindstrom on my roster. I would have probably still drafted Aaron Miller at some point at the end of the first. I wouldn't have had to fucking trade Todd Bertuzzi in my first fucking this year to go and get Iggy. And would have been at the same time too, would I have taken Iggy? Knowing that Dominic Hasek would have been available, I would have been able to bring him back to the fucking Cyclones. Who knows? Halifax could have probably picked up Dominic Hasek himself because Kirk McLean's career is winding down. And he needs a fucking legitimate goaltender. You got a legit goalie to Halifax, fuck, the guy's going to be a division winner for a couple of years to go, for sure. And then, what if? Put your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. What are the what ifs if you had decided? What are the what ifs in the league so far? That's 4 of them. But my final thought on the what ifs. What if this league had never started? Where would we all be at this moment? I'd probably be still modding games. Ticklepuss and Adolf would be still Yinzas. I would have never gone to the Segathon tournament. We would not be talking about an October championship live in Toronto. We wouldn't be talking about a season 5 of WNHL95, let alone season 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, thank you to you all for being able to contribute into the league. You guys have all been fucking amazing. Some of you have been fucking kooky. Some of you have been off to the fucking wall. Some of them, you guys have been more than grateful and generous in all your things that you've done. Sagathon guys, I've been including you guys because of what you did for me when I came down to the Sagathon tournament. Red carpet service, Minnesota style. I didn't get to see the goats or see them eat eggs, so it doesn't really matter, but I might be able to see that next time I go down. So my next segment is Who's Better? Do you want to know? My 2 things right now is that I'm going to say the 2 coaches. You guys can give your own opinions. I don't really care. But at this moment right now, I'm going to give you my 2 opinions of 2 coaches. And you tell me afterwards in the comments or on Discord. Blast me if you want. Find us on Discord at NHL95. Colin or Sean? You got the Sudbury Slag, the Minnesota Half-Pucked. Whoever knows what his team's going to be, I think it's called Sudbury Saturday Nights for Season 5. And the Thunder Bay Pike, who are the 2-time defending champs. Who is better? I know in my segment with Klein and Wolf that I gave my point of views on it. That Sean, everybody's beatable in the league if you have the right mixture against that team. Everybody's beatable. Even Sean, even Colin. It's just, where are the matchups? Who are you playing and what are their players like? For Colin's viewpoint, I don't think many people can beat Colin. Even as much as we talk about Sean, I don't think anybody can beat Colin. He takes a dumpster fire of a team and fucking beats the number 1 seed. Beats the North Bay Knights. You're like, what the fuck, man? He's got Greg Adams leading the way. He's got the Little Giants, the Mighty Ducks number 1 roster on his team. And he's doing it. He's got Darren Poop on Your Leg Ewa, and he's got Greg the Bod Adams, Alex Godniak, and he adds Mr. Darren Turcotte to his lineup for a little bit of French exquisite. So who knows what everybody could do? And then you got Bell, who's looking to trade Pavel Bure now. He traded Eric Lindros. I think he's taking some inspiration from Colin, being like, I want to see what I can do with the shit team. Not saying that Sean wants to fucking blow up his team and just fucking ride it with a bunch of bench warmers, but you can just imagine what he's thinking here. But if I honestly had to pick, it's really hard to go against Sean, but I'd take Colin. Pink or G-Lock? Pink is coming on the rise. Like I said, he's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Next season is I don't know who is the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think Mr. Hyde is when Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. I don't remember the analogy of the two. Which one's the crazy one and which one is like the sensible? The sensible one would be when Pink is on his game and he's beating teams and he's like one of the top teams in his conference. And then the other one is where he goes fucking gets shut out 15 games out of the last 16. This season is where he's going to go getting shut out a lot. I don't know if he changes his roster, he changes his approach, but I really don't know. Then you got G-Lock, who's Mr. Exhibition. Him, Wolf, and Sutton are like, let's play exhibitions. Granted, all their seasons are done except Derek, who has to play Grand River. And Wolf has to actually play too. And G-Lock, in fact, they all have to play. G-Lock has to play Gamby. Danger Zone. Hey, Tom Cruise, B. Clinton, here's to you. Then Grand River has to play Derek Sutton, and Wolf is waiting for the winners of Tuyakatuk and Tiakatuk, and I'm fucking shaking my arm here. Ekiel, and then there's Golfer Gibb with Caledonia, and Elias. There's some games that still need to be played to even get to that step. I honestly will take G-Lock. The guy's skill level is increased. He's learning the dump in. Whereas Sumter's just like pump and dump, and he fucking crashes the net. It's a unique style, and he's got big players to do it. So I'd stick with G-Lock because he's a little bit more refined, and he's got the what's it called? He's got the nautical engineer or aeronautical engineer with Joey Juno, and he's got Curtis Joseph back. So fuck, I don't know. He just won the game theory award for the best save percentage in the league. So yeah, I'd go with G-Lock. This one's a little bit more controversial. Tickness or King Raph. Completely two different styles of plays, both guys from 94. King Raph with his electric thumbs, and I don't even know the analogy to use for Tickness, but Tickness basically, I don't know, he's got laser vision, because if you let him pass the puck, you're not going to ever touch the puck. He passes it with so much finesse, it makes it extremely difficult to pin him down. But if you can get into his passing lanes or body check him a little bit, you might be able to disrupt it, but he's still going to get his passing in. And then you look at King Raph, electric thumbs, like I said, with the electric lettuce. He doesn't want to give it up. What are you fucking talking about? Get away from him. He's going to score on you. Yeah, he scores on you. He's just going to make you embarrassed. He does have his weaknesses, and he does have his issues with 95 overall, which is perfectly understandable. But I would actually go with Tickiness because we're in current state right now, and he pulled off an amazing season. He pushed Gaelic to 6 games. Give him another season of getting used to the league, and he might be actually pushing into the conference finals eventually. Give him a better team. His team is kind of in. He's not great, his team, but he can get better, in which he will. Segathon or B. Clinton. This is a really tough one. They have so much animosity towards each other. They've grown up together. They've played so many fucking games. It's ridiculous. I'm going to ask you right now, Blair and Nick, how many games have you played against each other, and who is honestly on the winning side and who's on the losing side? But given on what I've seen over the last couple of seasons, Segathon is way more consistent than B. Clinton. For B. Clinton to go all the way to the shitty bill and win the shitty bill tells you a lot that the guy didn't have it all together last season, whereas Minhatrix have done it every fucking season. Deep playoff pushing teams can't finish it off, but they can get deep into the playoffs every fucking season. I'm going with Minhatrix regardless of what you say, Blair, especially since you don't like the down C. I don't really give a shit. And then the last one is going to be an interesting one. Would you rather have Wolf Season 1 or Wolf Season 4? Wolfie! I would take Wolf Season 1. Because nobody knew what he could do. Everybody saw when he played against him, you got throttled or you kept it close. He was a very unique type of player at the time because nobody really saw what it was. Now that we're starting to see his true colors, and he's trying to modify his game after Tickness, and he's trying to modify his game after him to be able to pass the puck as much, you got to trade Brett Hall. You can't have that guy on your roster anymore if you're going to try to do all this passing, because your main focus of your offense right now is Brett Hall. I know you got Ziggy, I know you got Theo, and you got Don Sweeney and whoever else in the back. You got to fix your defense. Don't get yourself a Ray Bork. We already saw what that happens to nipples when you go trade one of your best forwards in the league for Ray Bork to try to have a puck-moving defenseman. Still scratching my head. Maybe right now, McLean is laughing about it because he's just like, hey, I got the benefit out of this. But who knows? The next couple of things I'm going to talk about, that's the end of that segment. The next couple of things are going to be just a little overview of everything. But expectations for Season 5, I expect our Season 5 to start around mid to late August. So I'm saying like the third week of August if we can get the season started. I know that Sammy Smith and Halifax and a few other guys, it's going to be the tail end of the summer. People are starting to go back to school for their kids. And they're going to start finding a little bit more time maybe. But we'll start the season off around that time. mid to late August for season 5. Hopefully by then we can get things going. Expectations of it, I'm hoping the way I'm looking at it now is to run it for 3 months for the season. So 2.5 months, I'd say, for the season, and then 2 weeks for the playoffs. Given that we know that we're starting to get back into the swing of things of what we did in season 1, where everybody was wanting to play, and I think everybody still wants to play, it's just the summer months are the dog days where nobody wants to play. Everyone's like, it's too fucking nice to be inside playing video games. Blasphemy. Stay inside and play video games. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, we can go like this. Hey, Heinz, you want to come play some video games? No, sorry, I'm dead. I got hit by a red truck, and I told my wife and my dead daughter that I'm going to have a go fund me and then go play fantasy hockey that night. And then go fuck yourself, Heinz. And then at the same time, too, you got Mike Vicky, BC, fucking Stugats, meh, right here. Fuck off. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'm starting to get to the point where there's some of the guys in the league who whine and complain a little bit more. Now, I'm talking about the guys in previous seasons, not this season. We have a lot of great guys in the league this year, so I'm not going to complain. I'm complaining about the people from before. Dink was amazing. The myth, the man, the legend is no longer with us in the league. And I'm going to put it out there. Whoever can bring Dink back, I'd give you a free draft pick. I said it right now. I'm not going to tell you what type of draft pick. It's conditional. Bring Dink back. I'd love to have him back. Because I never really had issues with Dink. Always a good guy. Always played his games. And when he played a lot. And he didn't care about losing. He just wanted to have fun. Bring Dink back. Bring Dink back. Come on. What other things, expectations? We're going to have a mid-season trade deadline, but we're going to have everybody at the same thing. I don't want people being like, oh, I only played 10 games so far. Play your games and we'll be fine. Get us to the trade deadline. Everybody trades one day, and then we move on to the following part of the season. Let's try to keep some consistency of everybody playing their games as much as we can. If there's guys at 36 games and then there's guys at 40, that's fine. I don't want guys at like 15 games. Some new features we're going to bring into the season. Google Sheets are going to take a new revamp. We're going to have an in-season sheet, which are going to only have the in-season stats and active players, and maybe something where you can look at the players' future, not their player ratings, just their future. So they can see like they have 80, 82, 87, whatever it is until they retire. Then we're going to have an off-season one where we're going to have the awards, all the player data, for like the ratings, the attributes. I'm going to add some new features into that file. And then I'm going to have an excluded one, which you guys are not allowed to look at. But it's going to have all the stats. It's going to have, it's all the raw data. So when it pushes it up to the sheets, everyone's going to be able to look at it nice and pretty. We're hopefully to move past into, we got a save state loader now. So you can actually load it on the site. You don't have to connect to Discord to put the save state in anymore. You just go to the site, dump it in. I think you just put your home and away, who you played for each save, and that's it. That's all I expect. And then basically from there, I'm just wishing you guys a great summer for the rest of the way, because I do know the season's winding down. We got maybe how many series do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 series left until the Bruley is done, and I think we have 6 or 7 left until the shitty Bill's done. We're going into the winding days of the year. I appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate everybody who's watching and tuning into this shit. It's maybe not the greatest videos. It's maybe not the greatest content. Maybe it doesn't catch everyone's identity and being like, hey, I really love this material. At the end of the day, this is for our league. We love an old retro game, NHL 95. Even some 94 guys are like, hey, I'll give it a whirl. It's not my jam, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the community. At the end of the day, we're a big family. We love a game. We love contributing and spitting ideas and talking about life in general in Discord. But at the end of the day, I thank you guys all for it all. And it's made me a much more understanding type person, but also a little bit more edgy and not giving a shit about some people's feelings at sometimes where it could be detrimental. But let's get season 5. I'm really excited for it. I'm excited for the draft. I'm excited for the new coach's comical font, Aftershock. is coming back. Aftershock. Go fuck your mother. I can't wait for his announcing in the season. It's gonna be so much fun. Slavo Tonic and Caden are our 4 new coaches. I think Caden is the Hoth Wampas. Slavo Tonic is the Rome Auroras. Timmins Tarragrades for comical font, and Troy City Titans are coming back. So if you guys have anything you want to be added to everything in the Google Sheets, in the ROM, whatever it may be, send me a message and we'll go from there. Thank you all. Have a good week. It's Ultra Magnus. Peace out.